What's happening, guys, and welcome to the video. And today we're going to be taking a look at Dungeons 3 and some of the starting strategies, tips and tricks that new players and some old players might not know about when it comes to building up your dungeon and conquering the overworld. I'm going to try and make this video as compact and short and sweet as possible. So without any further ado, let's get into tip number 1. So this first one is more of a starting strategy, and this strategy is to max out your little snots as soon as you can. The more little snots you have working for you, the more gold you can get, the more rooms you can dig at once, and it just makes your dungeon run a whole lot better if you can max this out as soon as you can. Tip number 2, being evil by slapping your snots to make them work faster. So yep, just hover over one of your little snots, right click, and you will give him a slap and he will work a bit harder. Not really much more to add there. Tip number 3, guys, imagine not building doors into the entryway of your room. Efficiency and maintenance. Please do make sure you build a wooden door in the entrance of each of your rooms to improve your efficiency of that room to 100%. For each entryway you don't build a door on, the room loses 10% efficiency. So imagine you had 3 entrances to a room and no doors, you would only have 70% efficiency. I suggest using wooden doors, as it doesn't matter what type of door you put on there, but wooden doors only cost 2 tools, and so that is the cheaper option. Please do that, guys, it's a good habit to get into. Tip number 4 is don't underestimate the power of support spells. Support spells are brilliant and I use them all the time. They really do help you knock up trap rooms really quick. You can see what I'm doing here. If you want to get a more powerful spell, you hold down your left mouse button while casting the spell. And it's sort of, these spells, they really do help. I mean, you can really knock up a trap room really quickly, as I'm about to show you right here. So as you can see here, I've run out of not enough toolboxes, so I'm combining create tools spell with the magic room spell, which increases the room's efficiency to 200% if you put the doors on it. So there, I'm back up to 11 tools, putting down more traps, so you can plan your rooms out by doing this, guys. And you put your doors on. So then, as you see in the Tinkerer's Workshop, this is currently working at 100%, holding the power down. The longer you hold it down, the more powerful the spell, and it will increase the room's efficiency. Just to make sure you have enough mana to do this, guys. So make sure you got a few demons earning you some mana, and you will be knocking up these trap rooms in no time. So as you can see here, I've just placed down the wall traps, and by the time I've placed them down, the rooms are still going at 200%. Imps are running around like crazy, and you can see how quickly they're actually building. So I was going to do these in different parts of the video, but I decided to do it all in one part because I thought they all complement, all these sort of tips here complement each other in a way that I normally use and build trap rooms. So yeah, I think this would be the best way to show off this strategy, and it works really well. It's worked for me. So there we go, guys, the trap room is built. Before you say it, I know these are weak traps and they're not don't take long to build, but this strategy does work for even the heavy traps towards the late game. Tip number 5, always take out the heroes healers first. They're normally the priestesses with the white dress, so nice little target there for you to attack straight away. The rest of the group of heroes do fall quite quickly, even with this crappy army here that I have. There you go. Yeah, they do fall quite quickly without their healer healing them. Tip number 6, and this is regards to research, more specifically the compressed research in the lecture hall. What this does is it gives you 2 extra slots per lectern. So these study booths here, as you can see, I can only store, you see that bar as I go in, it's only, I can only store 4 scrolls, so that's 4 researches basically. So to stop you building a massive library, you just need to research compressed research, and as you can see, once it's done, I've got an extra few slots there, 2 extra slots for storing scrolls, and you will have to store them I normally max this out just so I can do as much as possible for these other little researches down here. You do need the library to do these, so I would do that compressed research to the max. Tip number 7, have you ever thought to yourself, oh, I can't be done with these creatures and I really need to get rid of them and I don't know how to, especially the demons and undead? Well, there's problem solved. There's a trapdoor right next to your dungeon heart there. You just place them on this panel, pull that lever. You know, you pull the lever and then they fall down the hole. But it works for demons as well, because they respawn once they die, so you can never be able to get rid of them. You just chuck them down the hole. I did have 4 demons. We'll go back and check, and I have 3 now. But there you go, I'll get rid of them back. But there you go, if you want to get rid of some of your creatures, that's the answer. Tip number 8, and we're going to look at grouping up units. I'm going to do it with these just to show you what I mean. So I'm going to set a group here with control 2, and as you can see, all the Nagas that I've just picked up are now bound to my keypad with number 2. So when I press, do the same with all the orcs. I'm going to control 1 on all of the orcs and drop them down, and you can see they are hotkey number 1. So if I press 1, I'll pick up all my orcs, and if I press 2, I'll pick up all my Nagas. This works good for like undead sort of things, and I can do the same with all my range units as well. I'll stick Talia in that category, I guess, just for the purposes of this video. And then see, I've got all my range units banned to number 3. Neatly comes on to my next point, which is a neat little trick here. Instead of pressing U and picking up all your units and then chucking them down to an exit, you have to wait a while, and it does take a bit of time. Say, let's go back down to the dungeon, and I'll show you this neat little trick here. If I press U and stick them all at my dungeon heart. So pretend I've got a massive dungeon, loads of different units, blah blah blah, and I want to only send out my undead to the overworld. So I just press, you know, all my undead button hotkey that I've banned their group to, and then to send them out. And you don't need to go and pick them all up and send them down the hole and wait around there for ages. You can just do it like that, and I'll tell you what, it does make it a lot easier, especially when you group them up, like your demons and your undead all together, and then all your horde in one other key or whatever, however you want to do it. But there's loads of ways you could do it. I hope that little trick helps you there. Tip number 9 is the support spell known as the Demon Portal. Very useful one. Say you're fighting up here on the overworld, and you know you're getting attacked in your dungeon and you don't know what to do, and you're like, oh, it's a mile back to the entrance. You just cast this spell and then right click, select all your units, and your units spawn out through the portal and protect your dungeon heart. Neat little spell there, and it's one I use often. And so here we are, last but no means least, tip number 10. As you can see here, you want to link up your entrances to your dungeon. You want to send the heroes that are attacking you on a loop around the dungeon. And at the dungeon entrance here, I've got some undead protecting as they come through the front of my dungeon, basically. And I've also got on a group the units that won't die. So I've got undead units, i.e. the skeletons, the demons, and the zombies on a hotkey, so I don't disturb my horde when defending a dungeon, because they don't die. All I've been doing in this mission here is just a skirmish mission, but I've just been leveling up my undead, and it's just like ridiculous the amount of XP you get just by killing heroes that attack you. And if you send them round like the long way and make them come in at the same point, you can get a nice bit of XP, and then they just take them to the prison once they finish with them. And the zombies and the skeletons like to hang around their rooms anyway, so yeah, that'd be a good spot to build them to your dungeon entrance, so you got a little bit of a tiny force there if need be, if the traps don't do their job, which they should do. Them, it's a bit overkill there, but some of the heroes, as you see, quite a high level. So that'll be the end of the 10 tips and tricks for Dungeons 3. I hope you enjoyed the video and at least someone out there learned something new about Dungeons 3 that they can take away with them. I had to try and find things that I thought that would help new players in the game and ended up learning a bit myself as well. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and as always, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you know when I upload a video. I have been Kozar, and I'll see you next time. Cheers, bye bye.
Soon it won't be long. Keep on, keep running.